welcome to the Netherkast. My name is Django, and I'm joined by Shad and Cyborg. Can you believe it? What's up, sirs? Have you seen this Mortal Kombat trailer?
No.
No?
Not trailer.
It's so sick.
What are you even talking about?
I'm
Why am I
glad.
here?
I'm glad, because that means that we can get your live reactions. I already did mine, so...
No, I watched it a few times.
I've seen it twice. I've tried to minimize exposure to it so as I don't overly praise or criticize anything that comes out of it.
Sounds reasonable.
Come out of it.
Sounds reasonable. Apparently, we're just going to watch this thing at the first, and I have some stuff that I want to say about it, and I'm sure that you guys do too, some things that come to mind, but if you guys can see this thing, hopefully you can. I'm pushing play on this, and we're going to watch it.
First learned about this 7 years ago.
I didn't even ask if you guys can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it.
Yeah,
I can hear it. It's good.
Good.
When we got there, it tore through our unit in seconds.
Is that the guy from Family Feud?
You know, I heard a lot of people's like, Steve Harvey? That's,
It's not really up for debate. It's the mustache. It really does.
yeah, I think you're right.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It'd be funny if when he's pulling down his hoodie to reveal the dragon logo, it's just like his nipple. Look at my nipple.
I feel like there's a very easy, like, parody version of this trailer to make out there. It probably already exists. There's a lot of stuff that you can
Oh yeah, you could easily just Photoshop a nipple right over that symbol.
do that. Literally put Steve Harvey's head there. Even though it does look like a dude. Hanzo here. I always forget this actor's
part
name.
I really do enjoy. I want more of this. I hope that this part lasts a little while.
Me too.
I'm Sonya.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with shots like that, or like the one with the Liu Kang and stuff. So,
Hey, it's Ryu.
the sunset.
Don't say that. Dude, I got blown up by that one guy in that reaction video. That was tight. Mr. Commenter, you know who you are. I love you so much.
Sorry, dude. Okay, that shot's good.
That wasn't, yeah.
In
That
front of the
was
sun.
We will not fail. Kill them.
Constature would look like Ogre from Tekken.
Ooh. Guest characters. Goro Ice Shower? The Ice Showers never looked that cool.
I am Sub-Zero.
And, okay, yeah. This is funny too. I like this shit. He meter burns that shit.
They need to work on that delivery just a little bit.
Just a bit. I agree.
Get over here.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Yeah, they might
Just
have to
all the way
like,
around.
redub it like they did with like Bane. Yeah, it's a little muffled.
Yeah. That was my biggest thought when I saw it. Like, if it was just like there's a lot of people that thought that it needed like Ed Boon in there, which I wouldn't disagree with necessarily. That is maybe. I wouldn't mind that either, but I think that would have been really, really cool if they had just added some like effecty oomph to it.
I think they really should.
Yeah.
I think it's a necessary patch. It sounds like a guy muffled by a mask saying the words with like a frog in his throat.
And I mean, it's especially interesting because Sub-Zero, he has some effecty shit on his voice. We just heard it. And Scorpion is presumably an undead Spectre guy. So, sure, effects.
Presumably. I have theories about that going around, but I'm not going to get too far into spoiler territory.
That's a good thing to point out. I like there's a spoiler scripts of this thing that's been around since forever. I haven't read them. I don't know what's going to happen in this stuff. I haven't read that stuff. Have you guys seen that or no?
Some stuff has changed. Other stuff has remained the same.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any since like a really early version. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. The thing about this film that concerns me the most is not necessarily lack of faithfulness to the characters, but I tend to feel that these are just surface adaptations of a few people on a couple different levels. I suppose it comes down to asking the question, what is, who is Sub-Zero, who is Melina, who is Reptile?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's an argument to be made that, you can take their defining characteristics and work with that. So yeah, I get that, and I'd say that that's where they excel in terms of characters like Sub and Scorpion, and I'd say they completely fail in the case of, like, say, Melina, Reptile. It's not enough to have just a giant lizard around, a giant naked lizard. He has to be recognizable as something.
Let's look at that giant naked lizard. I want to see him again.
Now, to be very fair about things, you've seen him for like 2 seconds. You don't know what he can do. He might be spitting acid. He might be sliding around on the floor. Might be throwing force balls. But I just get the feeling he's not going to be doing much of that.
We see the bit where he looks like he has the invisibility thing, and that's honestly about the only recognizable thing. I mean, other than him being a reptile, I guess. That's the thing, too, that Reptile does. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like when people think Reptile, is this what they're seeing?
I don't think that when anyone thinks of Reptile, thinking of a naked version of the Deadly Alliance outfit.
Yeah.
I've seen some people like it, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean...
I think Murdoink specifically was happy because he's a big, like, his favorite reptile is the Deadly Alliance reptile. Not to say this is like an ideal version of that character. He should still have some sort of garb on that screams ninja
identifies
or whatever, something cool. But
I'm happy to see him around. It just, it just looks kind of generic. That's all.
He does. But, I mean, maybe something else. I don't know. Again, like, I haven't looked at the script. I haven't seen any. I have no idea what's going on in this movie. Maybe he crawls up in a statue and becomes a green ninja at some point, but it doesn't seem that way.
Okay, well, on the topic of things I think I really do enjoy.
Yeah.
A lot of us grew up with, the 1995 movie, and that movie has influenced the game in so many ways, and it's influenced the way we look at the characters in so many ways. Some of the guys like Kano and whatnot have taken their personality traits from that, and they've expanded forward into games with that. I do like that this movie appears to be taking the tact of there are things that it was not possible for the 1995 movie to ever cover, like the entire Scorpion and Sub-Zero rivalry. When I was a kid, I really wanted to see those two fight. I never got it. So it's nice to see that that's going to be the case this time. It's nice to see that we're going to actually have Kung Lao in a movie for the first time ever with a razor hat. That's really cool to me.
Yeah. And
I love the way he looks. Kung looks good. Oh, there's that nipple shot again. I don't understand why Cole Turner exists. I mean, I think I do. But...
Well... sorry, I was just going to add to that. Like, I find Cole Turner, Cole Young, whatever he is, very odd as well. I'm a little bit... I'll be honest, I'm happier to see he's at least of a cross... Like, he has some Asian descent in him, like, heritage. He's not just, like, a white guy, you know what I'm saying? Like... I feel that would just be disgusting for them to do something like that, to just make a white character and be like, this is our protagonist and we're going to sideline we're going to, make all the Asian characters a side part of the story. I hope that's not what we're looking at, but thank God
that's what it really felt like at the start of all this, when it's like, here's some white guy. Who the hell are you? It felt gross.
It definitely would reek of movie studios not having faith in Asian protagonists. Now, having seen the trailer and seeing how big of a role like Hanzo, and just seeing the cast in general, I mean, this is a very diverse cast, clearly. And that to me is really kind of calmed some of those concerns, and knowing that the guy that's playing Cole Young, and maybe even the character itself, is of at least, half and half or whatever. So he has I mean, he doesn't look like just a regular white guy, so that already is a huge win in my opinion. He clearly looks like he has some Asian, heritage in him, so that makes me feel a bit better about it. But one thing to add on to that is somebody asked on Twitter, Greg, what was the guy that wrote the script or whatever? I can't even remember his name. Anybody?
I had no idea.
Greg Russo? That sounds right. He's been answering questions on Twitter to some degree, and somebody, I don't know if it was him or if it was somebody else, one of the other writers or producers or whoever, had answered somebody's question of why no Johnny Cage in the movie, and they said, you'll just have to watch the movie and find out. So I'm hoping there's at least an answer. I don't know if it'll be one we like or whatever, like maybe he's already dead or some bullshit like that, but I hope that's not the case. That would be a really, really stupid decision on their part, and that's something I will absolutely take them to task if that is the case.
Yeah,
because nobody
one of the
wants
producers
to see
specifically said Johnny Cage is not in the movie.
Right.
So
I'm hoping, there's something there that at least maybe builds him up for a sequel, and this was just needed to have us have that character that, kind of explains everything, whereas Johnny Cage, I guess, at this point, they wanted to already have the answer. Oh, who knows? What were you saying, Chad?
God, what was I saying about why? I have so many thoughts. Just looking at all these...
Johnny Cage, about him not being in the movie or whatever.
No, that's all that we got.
Yeah.
There's hypotheses, a lot of people are wondering, is Cole Young actually Johnny Cage? And I don't know. I kind of have the feeling that he's not. I feel like if you watch the trailer closely enough, I think that people should have a very good idea of what Cole Young's purpose is, and that actually brings me to a fear I have about this film. When you combine that with a lot of what the scripts were saying about people using their arcanas to unlock their powers and stuff like that, I am terrified that this movie is going to go out of its way to try to explain the supernatural. Kind of like how we have to have dragon tattoos to show that people are invited to a tournament. It's like, that to me implies a lack of faith in the source material and a lack of faith in your audience to have that suspension of disbelief. That's what I'm afraid of going into this movie. That everything needs to be explained in some way.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's kind of the crappy thing about reboots, is it's always that first one, generally. I mean, there are some that have done it better than others, for sure, but it's always treating it like your audience. I mean, treating it like the people that are watching it have no idea what's going on, so they need to be explained everything for the first film, and that way subsequent films you don't have to explain so much. I mean, we've seen how many Batman origin stories just rehashed over and over to death. But I do think, but there, I mean, even when you're building games or whatever and sequels to stuff, one of the common things they teach you is treat it like you still gotta play to the audience that really has no idea to some degree. Otherwise you can't just assume everybody knows what Mortal Kombat is to a degree that none of this has to be explained. So there is a fine balance there of
I understand that, but
so I don't know. It's just that's something we'll have to wait till the movie to really have an idea of how heavy-handed they're going to go with these concepts of Mortal Kombat and what it is. I hope it's not so overdone that it's off-putting to people that know what's going on already. But at the same time, you also got to make sure you're not leaving anybody in the dark either. So it's definitely a fine balance that hopefully they'll land.
It's been interesting listening to people specifically talking about the tattoo aspect of the thing. And again, I have no idea what's in any of the versions of the script about that stuff, if that goes anywhere or does anything. But just the just the idea and for what they're going on with the trailer, when I saw that, I thought I kind of liked it, but only because I feel like it makes the tournament feel much more important and like a much bigger of a deal than than sometimes it feels like to me. And that's one of my favorite aspects of the franchise overall. Is the idea of this epic supernatural and and mysterious tournament that is going on for something so crazy as two realms, competing for which one gets to dominate the other, kind of, or one defending itself from domination. But people being born with this dragon tattoo thing, it makes the whole thing feel more supernatural to me, or bigger, or more than just, say, you can make the argument like if just receiving an invitation from Shang, it's just some weird guy who's doing a tournament, maybe. But with this, it's like, no, it's not some weird creepy mystic dude who's just doing a tournament somewhere, inviting you to something. It's something much more important and bigger and long running than that, and something that has much higher stakes too. And it kind of helps. It kind of helps keep the focus, and this was just what I was thinking whenever I saw it the first time. Like, it puts the focus back on the Elder Gods and the reason why this tournament is happening in the first place, and who's actually watching, and who's this important too, and who's overseeing this thing. And again, that's something that we haven't gotten in the games in a really long time. I mean, I guess like 2 games ago, because Mortal Kombat 9 was a reboot, but there hasn't been another tournament that's outside the Mortal Kombat 2 thing in forever. Like, we've seen the Mortal Kombat 2 tournament a couple times, but that was still the last tournament that we saw.
So what you're saying is that you really enjoy how big of an event the tournament feels, and sort of like how it feels more mystical to you.
It does. It makes it feel bigger, but they could fuck all that shit up. I don't know, because this could go in a very bad way really, really quick. All I can see is like all this like weird fucking tattoo that everybody has in here, and it seems like a big deal, but that could get flushed 5 minutes later for some weird twist that we don't know about. So I don't know, and I don't like the other way. I mean, I don't dislike the other way. I don't dislike the classic Shang Tsung with the invitations. That's tight. That's really cool too.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about that is like in regards to the birthmark, and I've said that it's not something I particularly care for, but it does have kind of, like you were saying, this big feel. It almost makes me think of like 80s and 90s fantasy, high fantasy movies. Like, it's definitely gives that vibe, because that's straight out of something you would see in like a not necessarily a kid's movie, but almost kind of like, I could imagine myself being a kid and like, oh, he's got the tattoo, blah, I don't know, just like thinking that's such a cool concept. Whereas like just a scroll or something, yeah, that's cool as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I can see why, like, from one perspective, it's kind of a cool feature, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. I'm kind of don't know whether it's not something I like, but it's not something I dislike. I'm kind of indifferent on it until knowing more about how they're going to actually represent it.
Yeah, let's be real. Like, as Mortal Kombat fans, we and Magic Dragon tattoos have a bad history. It's like, why would they go and revisit that thing again, after last time? So I think that's where a lot of the hesitation and what the fuck are they going for here, comes into play.
And man, they could like I said, they could shit all over themselves and not stick the landing on that stuff. It could be something so stupid. And
they even say in the trailer that it's not a birthmark. Like, he specifically says, like Jax does when they're driving in the car, he's like, it's not a birthmark, Cole. So it's like, what is it then? Does it manufacture at birth? Does it manufacture when you've been chosen for the tournament or invited? They don't really. I guess they do say he was born with it in the trailer, but I don't know.
But I mean, yeah, that doesn't necessarily go
into.
Are
all of them born with it, or is it just like a Cole thing, or is it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
things that we don't really get answered in the trailer. I mean, there might be some answers in the script, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not privy to that.
It does make me wonder, like, who's doing it. Like, that's another question. Not that they're going to answer that, and not that I necessarily need them to answer all of these questions, but like, if the people are being born with weird dragon tattoos, like, Is this a thing that's put there by the Elder Gods of like chosen people? Is this Raiden? Does he put this on the people he wants to choose to represent them? Like, whatever. I don't know what route they're going to go with that, but there's still questions. That there's some
fear that
fun
we're not
mystery.
going to get answers to those questions. I just feel that they're going to
You're
go,
probably right.
oh, this is your ticket to an event you were always destined to be part of, and that's probably going to be it.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that could definitely be the case too. Man, poor Steve Harvey.
So, enough about stuff that, like, I mean, personally for me, I am worried about. Something I really, really enjoy, like the moment in this thing that actually gives me a lot of hope, is this point here near the beginning where you see like what seems to be an etching of the great Kung Lao standing over a beaten Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
That shit is amazing. I can't believe they actually did that. That they went in that hard with that little tidbit of lore.
Yeah.
It is
Chill.
it's a
She's
that
not happy
she
with
loves
what you
it.
just said. she's contesting.
that's a deep cut I would not have expected. That was a nice surprise to see. Like, oh shit, the great Kung Lao's there.
It makes me really hopeful that, we'll maybe get to see some of that with Kung Lao, like the younger Kung Lao in this movie.
Yeah.
If not that, then Liu Kang. Like, I actually hope that Goro matters a whole bunch. I really want him to.
Goro matters. That is a thing that I would like to see. That would be tight. I'm a big fan of Goro. I like Goro a lot.
Now, that said, Goro himself in this trailer, that brings one of the big problems I have with this to light. Some of the CG looks pretty good. Some of it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it looks like absolute shit. It's all over the place. And Goro specifically looks really weird to me. Like, we're talking George Lucas prequel era CG quality to me. He just does not look right in motion against the background. I don't know what it is.
Ooh, Goro?
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind him that much. I mean, I've seen a lot of people point it out. I have seen, that was one thing TMK did say, I do recall, is that he really liked how Goro looked.
No, like, I like his outfits, his general appearance, that's it. I'm talking about the quality of the CG.
Sure,
Like,
no, I don't
that's
understand.
what I
I
mean.
guess.
It
I
just,
don't know.
it looks off to me. And I'm really worried about how it's going to look if this is what they want us to see for 0.5 seconds in a trailer. I know I'm being really alarmist here, but, I got to call the things I'm worried about as much as I got to call the things I enjoy.
Yeah.
And
When does this thing
something
come
about
out?
Goro's general depth. It's in April 16th, I believe.
April, okay. There's some weird looking CG in this movie, in this trailer. That's definitely the case. There's some weird stuff in those flashes at the end. That's like, what the hell is going on there? But like, it is like there are some really good effects. But there's also some questionable ones. So, I mean, maybe they didn't have the finalized renders of some stuff or whatnot. I do like Goro's design, but I mean, it's largely the MKX design, which I really like too.
Yeah.
I am worried that, like, it took them so long to get out a trailer for us after, like, hyping it up for such a long period of time, and now we have it, and here's what Goro looks. Gives me kind of a, this is going to be a lot more low budget than we think it is kind of fear,
Interesting. I honestly, even the CG, I don't mind that much. I don't know. I'm not saying like that I have a superior stance on this at all. I've seen a lot of people that say they do not like the way he looks. So I probably am the minority here, but to me, it looks fine. I don't know, like it doesn't look amazing, but to me, I guess it just, when I watched it before, seeing like what other people thought of it, I never even like paid it a second thought. I just thought it looked fine, looked neat.
I have to admit, I watched it a few times over and over again, and I'm like, it's just this still shot? Is it just this other frame? And I'm like, no, guys, I'm sorry. The animatic from 95 looked better. I don't want to sit here and compare the two of you over everything, but this time I've gotta,
Oh, I always love like practical effects over CGI anyways, so I agree with you there. I do like the way Goro looks in the MK movie. But I mean, as far as like, I don't know what the budget of this is either, but I mean, it could be worse. I have seen straight to DVD films of recent years, and they look really bad.
Right? Like, I just don't want this to feel like it's going to be a straight to DVD feature. Like,
Sure.
So many people are holding this up as like, I kind of get the feeling that there's a whole new generation of MK fans out there right now, right? And they want their own MK 1995. They want something that they can go to the theaters and like, have a blast with that has a huge impact on the games. And I'd love this to be that for their sake. But I want this to be for them what 95 was for us. And I don't want this to be like Dead or Alive, the movie,
Yeah. I mean, it's fair to be concerned. I mean, just from had you seen nothing, just from a pure, the way video game movies generally turn out and the hype that surrounds them and then the expectations that go with that hype. And then when you finally get to see it, it's just so underwhelming, or they got so many things wrong, or just, some bad acting or whatever, bad story, so on and so forth. So it's totally reasonable to have that concern. So no, I don't think you're alone in that. I think a lot of people are concerned. Some are excited. I mean, it just ranges from the people's personalities. I mean, you're going to have people that thinks this is the coolest thing ever, and they're crying tears because of what they're seeing. Oh, I just noticed that's her arm blaster that's doing that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's her arm blaster, but dude, that effect, I don't know what the fuck is coming out of that person.
I think I think it's supposed to be like all her blood and guts and whatnot, but they're glowing with the sonic ring effect. I think
is that what it is? It looks like Ivan Ooze, dude.
What I think is happening. It's like fruit gushers or some shit.
Yeah,
I will admit that is the first thing I've seen so far that I can genuinely agree on looking horrible.
Yeah, that's
except for her baby reptile.
That's what I was thinking. Like, man, there's something weird going. But maybe this is not out of the oven. Maybe it won't look so much like Ivan Ooze whenever it's done. But man,
yeah, that does look.
I think it's supposed to be Sonya's ring effect lighting up guts or something. I don't know.
The ring is cool, and I'm glad to see it that she's got it because I didn't actually notice that.
I didn't notice that till you just paused it here. That's cool.
That's tight, but man, yeah, that Gushers effect is pretty tight.
Is that Baraka in the background? He has like an arm blade coming out. It kind of looks like.
I hope it's not Baraka. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't look like Baraka, but he does have like a blade.
I think that's Cole.
There's someone there with like 2 arm blades, but they have hair. Is that supposed to be Cole?
I think that's Cole.
Cole steal Baraka's arm blades?
Weird.
Is this dead chick Melina? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Well, yeah, they definitely spoiled a lot of deaths in the trailer.
Was that Melina?
Under my complaints. Yeah, that was clearly Melina.
This is not on us. If you're listening and you're disappointed.
No, she'll be fine.
The trailer shows you like 4 deaths.
She'll be fine. She'll get back up.
I'm pretty sure it has. I mean, if you don't want me to point these things out, don't listen to this part. But I'm pretty sure you see Melina, Reptile, Reiko.
Reiko.
You can see Reiko's moment there. I think.
There's Reiko?
I'm pretty sure it's Reiko that Jax is jumping up and about ready to pound his face in.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how did I not see that?
The guy Jax is fighting is Reiko.
Oh
yeah, when he jumps up into the air, he's about ready to do like his MK2 fatality where he just slams both of his fists into his head. You can almost just see the rest of it happening in your mind. Right here.
This bitch right here is Reiko?
Yeah, you can see his shoulder, his arm guards.
Oh my god.
And no, they did not give him his eye paint. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm concerned about, like, signature aspects of characters, you know? I feel like it's not enough to just give someone a pair of sides and say, hey, look, it's Melina.
That's so weird. Okay, alright. That's weird. That's very weird. I mean, on the one hand, he looks really good, by the way.
Kung Lao looks pretty damn good.
He looks really sick. Razor's right. I don't know what this Zordon shit is over here to the left. I don't know what's going on with that.
The fucking the lightning rod.
Yeah, I don't like some TARDIS looking stuff. But I mean, like the games themselves these days, they often treat a lot of the C and lower string characters as like jobber guys who just die in the background, different stuff all the time here and there.
This is in line with the comics. I mean, like, I mean, you're gonna get people that just apparently show up and die.
Yeah, like
even in MK Annihilation, that freaking happened with like Rain and stuff.
This is a general Mortal Kombat proviso. If your favorite character is a villain, don't expect character development unless you're very, very lucky once every 30 years, and you're a Baraka fan. That's it. Otherwise, your guys, they're there to eat shit, run away, or die.
They
usually
are.
Die.
Fucking Kung Lao parrying this Kano blast, I guess, is pretty tight. I like that shit. And Raiden looks fucking sick right here.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Raiden looks good.
That's
I really
crazy.
like his overall appearance. Yes.
Yeah, that's along my scenes in this that I think like that's on par with like the Liu Kang one and stuff like that.
I don't know who this dead guy is in the foreground here, but Raiden looks really good.
Think of the Living Forest.
Yeah, it kind of does look like that.
Guys,
it's that. Yeah, that's a really good shot.
The vines or whatever.
I like that he's actually. He actually looks like he could be wearing his MK1 outfit under there in a way.
He does. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's he looks fucking like it's not like it's not ornate. There's not all this nice gaudy shit everywhere. Like it is kind of roby. He looks like an old Jedi. He looks like Obi-Wan with a cool hat.
Yeah.
But this special effect here, all this shit looks really fucking good. This is like an example of really nice special effects. And there's a lot of them. But there's some gushers too. This outfit I'm not so crazy about. But the other one was tight.
Yeah, it's a little bit too blue, the brown vest. I'm not sure about it.
Luke Skywalker.
Can we talk about Kano?
Please.
I'm afraid about Kano.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Kano.
So, apparently, the shot of him firing the laser out of his eye is reversed in the trailer, according to the directors and the producers. That should be fixed for the final release because it's coming out of the wrong goddamn eye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they even brought that up in their cast reaction video where all of them are watching the trailer for the first time. Okay. One of the producers mentions that, like, he mentioned the fan that brought that up, and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, it'll be fine in the thing. It was done for the trailer or whatever." So yeah.
Is there any idea who this guy is that Goro's about to just fuck up?
I feel like it's probably Cole again. It does not look like Kung Lao or Liu Kang.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's wearing. It looks like
Zod.
It does look.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's looked like some Aquaman shit. Like I don't know what he's got going on there, but he doesn't look like Cole to me. He looks more like a
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, he looks he looks more like just like a white guy, some white guy.
Looks like he's maybe collecting, I don't know, Scorpion Esque armor or something.
Something, but presumably he's about to get fucked up. Really bad, but I don't know. What else do we got here? Man, why are they making him look like Ryu? For real.
I don't understand that at all. Maybe it's supposed to be an Easter egg, a nice reference. They had to know they were inviting comparisons, right?
You would think, one would think, but it's like, maybe not? I don't know.
Okay. What do we actually think of Scorpion and Sub-Zero's outfits?
Okay, the one thing that I have heard about Sub-Zero is that, like, he is an Outworlder here, right? In this movie? That's what I've heard.
He's supposed to be him and Cabal, who is also visible in this very briefly.
Oh, is
somewhere.
He? Shit.
Yeah. Him, Cabal, they've just been shifted off to Outworld because, evil, they look scary or whatever, and that's obviously disappointed to me on a couple of levels, especially with Cabal, but
Cabal especially, that's really bizarre. Like, Sub-Zero is, they're half Outworld whatever. So it's like not that much of a stretch, but it's still not. It's still a change. It's still definitely a change. But knowing that, okay, he's coming to the tournament and he's in the movie from an Outworld like background or whatever. The changes to his outfit make more sense. It's okay that they don't look super human. They don't look super Earth-realming. They look kind of alien, sorta, in a lot of ways.
I feel that any concept of like a modern day ninja aspect has been kind of tossed out the window in favor of like, I guess, kind of modern day foreign alien samurai, I suppose.
Alien samurai, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Not hating it, just making the observation.
No, yeah. That's what's tough about it. Like, it's not bad, and I can definitely recognize it as Sub-Zero, but
yeah,
it is different too.
It's more than I can say for like Melina. I'm sorry to say it, but
and surprisingly enough, like after I learned about the Outworld thing and I thought about that, his like whatever you want to call it, the cowl thing on his head or whatever, and how it's like sculpted and grooved and scalloped like Scorpion's has been in the past a lot. It kind of feels more okay. It kind of feels more like it makes sense with the Outworld stuff. Because to me, the weird alien-y type idea that it's coming from Outworld, that feels even more natural to me than it did like on Scorpion, who came from Hell. Like this is like it's okay that he feels weird and otherworldly here, and that weird scallop thing is okay. The weird cowl. I mean, I still would have preferred obviously him to look like a ninja, but he comes off as such a fucking badass enforcer in this trailer. Like,
I do like this moment here we're looking at right now, where like the shotgun shards are just going towards his face. It's like, no,
yeah,
I don't care.
He seems like such a threat. I think that's kind of the thing that I like about it. He's just fucking walk around, and that shot of him later on doing the fucking ice shower as he's walking down the street or whatever. Like,
oh, I love that shot.
It's
going to be a good movie for Bihan fans, I think.
And that's what's so fucking cool about the situation. That's something that we definitely, I feel like we didn't get from the first Mortal Kombat movie that much, as far as like personalities and a little bit of flavor of each of Scorpion and Sub-Zero specifically, and we definitely get that in this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
to some degree,
have come a long way since then. I mean, there's a lot more to really.
They have. But man, yeah, Bihan comes across as a fucking like nightmare. Like he seems okay. Like this guy, he seems like a guy that Shang. You can understand why Shang wanted him as an enforcer for his side. Yeah. If that is the background they're going to, because I mean, obviously, I don't know. I don't know if there's much Lin Kuei involvement in the story here. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
I'd like to hear the words Lin Kuei and Shirai Ryu. We've had, it should go without saying, but we haven't yet.
We haven't yet. No, I would be. God, he looks like fucking Ryu.
There's Cabal, by the way.
Oh, that's Cabal, dude. He had a mask.
Yes, he did.
Fucking Bihan looks tight. Okay.
Cabal is also the one that's doing like a low block against Liu Kang's giant fire dragon.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that shot. I didn't know who that was either. Man, they're going an interesting route with some of these other characters.
I can't really comment much about Cabal, but I'm just glad he has his hook swords. That's something, I guess.
Yeah,
I really need to see that. I need to see that mask.
Yeah,
he's definitely got a nomadish kind of Dune-like appearance, but yeah, until we see the mask, we don't really know exactly what he's got going on.
If he looks like he's coming out of Dune, then they've done right. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it looks baggy, ragged, very wastelandish. I can see what looks almost like a gas mask with the goggles up top.
Yeah.
Some different appearance, but in general, it looks like from the neck down, at least so far, it looks like the ball.
There's a Mad Max type vibe going on there. Yeah. I'm not thinking about this movie in terms of sequels or anything, because whatever. I don't like doing that. But just one more, the last thing about Sub-Zero, if this dude is this scary and as big of a deal to the main group as he is, I mean, obviously they're having him be the one to disarm Jax and all that stuff. It should make for an even like more interesting and important and big moment whenever Kuai Liang does show up, if they go that route. Because of how fucking much of a problem that his brother was in this movie. And that wasn't really so much a thing in Annihilation in Mortal Kombat 1, which there was a bunch of other stuff going on. Like, it's fine, I get it. That wasn't
That was the worst in Annihilation. I remember when I was young, I didn't get to see either movie in the theaters because I was just too young at that point, but I remember when Annihilation came out. When did Annihilation come out? Like 97?
97. I took a girl to it on a date.
Ooh.
That relationship didn't go anywhere.
Oh.
So I was 7 years old at the time, and my older brother who's 8 years older than me, was a huge Mortal Kombat fan as well. And that's why I got to play it so young. This is when I started out. But anyways, I remember he went and saw the movie in the theater, and he's like, that was one of his biggest complaints, because Sub-Zero is his favorite character. It's like, yeah, Sub-Zero's only in it for like a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? I couldn't believe it. So, that was just so dumb.
It's a thing, and I'm glad that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case here a little bit. I really like what the personality and whatnot. Man, they tried to do that blood shit with Sub-Zero so much in the video games, it never looks cool. Like his X-rays, he'll pull that shit out and shove it in somewhere, but it never really feels that cool. But here, he like cuts you, freezes the blood immediately, and then it stabs you with your own blood. Like it reads a lot better in this than it does ever in the game.
It's better than like MK9 or X or whatever, when he like crushes your spleen and pulls out like a weird spike or something. It definitely looks better.
It looks way better here.
The NRS games have a habit of making their blood look like liquid gelatin. It's very unfortunate.
It's a thing.
I can see where you're coming from. This does have like the right kind of visual kind of consistency to look like just straight up frozen blood. It's good.
It's really cool because they make sure. I mean, I had to watch it a billion times to what the fucking is even going on here, but like, yeah, he slashes you and it bleeds. He grabs the blood he just fucking slashed you with, and then does the thing. It's really stylish. It's really nice. And then he meter burns the throw through the wall here. It's really sick.
Yeah, that is super cool. I love stuff like that. That's honestly like when you were talking about how, you know, the pros and cons of this versus like the potential of this and what we've seen in the trailer versus the MK 95 movie. It's like that was my biggest hope for this in terms of just the style of like seeing them use all of these abilities that they've gained over the years. I mean, they've done so many crazy things in the games now, like ice walls and random shit that they can create. I want to see a lot more of that, and I think you're onto something that the story might suffer a bit here versus the 95 movie, but I think we're going to see so many, like, them trying to make this like a video game in a way where you get to see you get to point and ooh and ah at all the cool shit that they're doing.
Yeah, see, that's it. I feel like if you're looking for an adaptation of the story of Mortal Kombat, 95 is still going to be it for you. If you're looking for more of an adaptation of the one-on-one fighting game, this might be more up your alley.
Yeah,
I actually wanted to say that like now, because it feels like so much of this is taking place in like streets and like this frozen urban building. I don't know if we're getting Shang Tsung's island at all. It does not look that way. Like I don't think that was in a couple of the scripts, at least. So this is going to be like a tournament. I don't know where it's happening, but it's probably not going to be. There's probably not going to be a dragon boat. Let's put it that way. I don't think that's happening.
No dragon boat?
Take your losses with your victories. It's not going to be a perfect movie, but, 95 wasn't either. Very nearly.
It made me think of an interesting question, for me anyway, hearing everybody's thoughts that have come out since this thing and hearing the different opinions about it. It's obviously divisive and whatnot, but everything that comes out with Mortal Kombat's name on it is. So that's nothing new. And that's Okay, that's part of what's interesting about it. It's interesting hearing the different aspects of Mortal Kombat that are deal breakers for different people.
Sure.
And they're not like there's so many of them. There's so many different answers for that question.
Oh yeah, I mean, with any franchise, really. I mean, like you get into like Star Wars and all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Hardcore fan bases. You have fans of different types that are looking for different things. You have the story fans, the character fans, the all sorts of random stuff going on. Just the fans of the fantasy, just the settings, and so on and so forth. So that's why you get like such division amongst the fans of what they're looking for, and even among the fans themselves, you get like we've seen it over just with this trailer. Like I've seen people really hating on this movie for months now, basically in the Discord, that we're going off scripts and whatnot without seeing anything yet, just purely off of what they read in the script. And my feeling is a lot of those people were probably not going to like this anyways, just because this is just not for them. I feel like which sucks because a movie should be for all fans, right? Ideally you're trying to please as many people as possible, just financially from a business standpoint, but also you want this to be successful and regarded and held into, make people like the 95 movie where people look at this as one of the more successful video game movies out there. But my concern is you already have very audiences that are very different. Like on Twitter, you see a lot of the people are crying over this and thinking it's like the most amazing thing they've ever watched, and they watched it 5 billion times and they think it's the coolest thing ever. And maybe they didn't get the 95 movie there because maybe they're younger, maybe they're 15 and 16, so this is their, like Chad was saying, this is their 95 movie, so they think this is the most amazing thing, which is fine. Just as thinking this is dog shit and whatnot, that's also fine. Everybody's allowed to feel. I'm most curious about, like, and I wrote this on Twitter, I'm most curious about the people that are going in with a desire to like it, but also cautious optimism and not afraid to call it out on its bullshit too, and just kind of keeping an open mind. I think that's the most important thing, is keeping an open mind. If you've already written this off before you even saw the trailer as going to be absolute garbage, and then when you watch the trailer and you said that was trash, I don't care. Like, I don't care about your opinion at that point on this particular thing. Same with the people that are just praising this to no end and they think nothing's wrong and they're willing to just bypass Reptile looking like a weird lizard man and Melina potentially not looking, which I want to comment on one more thing on that, not looking as good as she could, like as faithful to the character she could, or the Cole stuff, or the birthmarks and the stuff that we've talked about. Like, I just want people to kind of have an open mind. And that doesn't mean just praise everything. That just means, like, don't form an opinion too early to where you're not willing to come back on that opinion a bit, is all. And that goes both ways. I hope people that think it's the most amazing thing ever, I mean, that's great that they like it, but I would hope that they at least, because there is merit to calling them out on their bullshit. Like Chad said on Twitter, like, you gotta call them out on the things that they're doing blatantly wrong, especially the little things that they could have, like, things that do matter to people that they could have easily done right. That's the worst offenders. Like, if it's a big budget thing and they just or it's a small budget thing and it's a costly thing they couldn't just get perfect, that makes sense. Shit happens. But if it's something that's so simple and it just looks like they didn't care about it, they just didn't care about the source material, and they just said, fuck it, we'll just do this random thing that's clearly not paying their respects to fans and these characters and treating them with respect. And that's the stuff that I find really bothersome. So I hope people call them out on that. And you need like the YouTubers and all the random content creators, or influencers as they call them, you need them to call them out on their bullshit too. You can't just have them, the people with millions of followers, just praising it to no end as if it's God's gift to us, because then they're never going to change. You need to, it's all a fine balance is all I'm asking. with people is have an open mind, but also just be like respectfully critical, I guess. Does that make sense?
No, it really does. I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can, considering all the things I'm worried about slash dislike. But I feel like this movie is just really heavily operating under MK95's shadow really hard. And it's doing its best, just judging by the choices it's making and the things it's going for, to go as far out of its way as possible to tell a story that's as grounded in MK as 95 was, but shows us all the things that we never got a chance to see in either that or Annihilation. So I have to give it credit for that, but like we're saying, you can't just give someone a pair of size and call them Melina, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm afraid of.
Sure. Thanks for bringing that back up, because one thing I did want to point out about that is I don't know what the hell this means, but somebody said there's more to her in the movie or something. I can't remember what the quote was. Gosh, what the heck was that quote? One of the producers or somebody that worked on the film said something in regards to, I wish I could pull up the quote. Should have had it ready. I thought I could remember it, but like I said, I wish I could remember.
Like I'm saying, like I said, obviously, we've seen like 3-4 seconds of her. That shot where she actually has her back to the camera and she's walking, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
and, maybe she'll sprout fangs when she's angry, I guess. But
yeah, that would be.
I'll be kind of disappointed. It doesn't even look like she's going to be wearing a mask at all. So, I hope she's sprouting fangs at least. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. But she's one of the things I'm more concerned about, because she just doesn't look a lot like the Melina that I know at all.
Yeah, I wish I could find that quote. It's something about there's more to her in the movie or something. I don't know what that means though. Like,
I remember seeing that too.
You could interpret that as, oh, she has more scenes in the movie. This isn't it, just in the trailer. Well, I would take that as a duh. I would hope not. I would hope that's not just it for the character. Or you could take it as that's not her her final form, so to speak. I use that loosely, but it's like there's more to see of her in the movie, and that's not it.
Don't tell me. Her tattoo comes off and starts circling in on itself, and it explodes, right?
I really like the fan mock-up of what she would look like with all the fangs coming out of her cheeks and with the more creepy tongue going on. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter, but somebody made a really cool mock-up using that. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Showing the potential of it, even using the design they currently have, not changing the teeth, but opening up her cheeks and putting a lot more crazy things going on, and then giving her the creepy tongue. That alone. She does
seem to have some sort of weird scarification around the cheek.
There's something going on, with her mouth situation.
Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows? Brusk had said at one point that the actress that plays her, tweeted out or put on her Instagram at some point a while back that she had to use some prosthetic tongue. So it's odd that her tongue looks just completely normal in the trailer. So I don't know. But I also can't think logically, why would she look like this and then all of a sudden just her tongue change in the middle of the movie? So that also is odd. So I don't really know. I don't have an answer for that, nor am I holding my breath on that her appearance is going to radically change from the trailer.
She doesn't look that different later on in the trailer when Sonya blows her guts out. It's her face looks normal there too, what I can tell.
Yeah,
I don't know what the deal is.
Hmm.
One little thing, not a lot of people are talking about, but something I appreciate.
Yes.
The musical beats in this.
Oh, great stuff.
Yeah. I am one way or another looking forward to this soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're gonna give us epic orchestral techno syndrome for as rendered for cinema, I'm all about that. I need to hear some of that shit. It's gonna be good.
One of the cast members, I think it was Kung Lao, the guy that plays Kung Lao in the movie, during their their reaction to the trailer, where all of them watched it together, all the cast members. He at the end of the video, he actually plays the MK theme on the piano. So that was kind of cool, like on the keyboard or whatever.
Oh, that is
How
cool.
sweet.
That's tight.
I mean, they all genuinely come across as fans, which I appreciate. They don't seem like they're just in it to make a buck, or what is this random thing that these crazy fans are in love with that now we're going to disappoint them. They all seem really invested in the movie itself. Doesn't mean it's going to be great or anything, but at least you can show they're putting their own hearts into it and trying to do what they think makes for a good movie. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah,
I'd
folks,
rather that than just a bunch of shitbags that don't give a fuck.
folks, just remember, like, if we get even that, like, actors who are enthused about their parts, who want to be part of Mortal Kombat, regardless of whatever, like, comes out the pike on the other end, don't shit on the actors for it on social media. That should go without saying, but, if they're excited to be part of this, if they wanted to make something cool happen, good for them.
Don't shit on the actors. Yeah, that should go without saying, but it should probably be said. You know?
Yeah, it should be said, given, like, how
Yeah.
characters from Star Wars are treated and, like, chased off of Twitter and complete shitbags, people, like, making them feel horrible just for playing a character that somehow, didn't turn out the way they wanted, which, like you said, that's not the actor's fault.
No, the actors aren't writing this shit.
Decisions.
Yeah, these guys are just fucking saying lines that somebody gave them, man. They're not writing this shit. Chill out. It's okay.
Even the writer, like, you can't necessarily put all the blame on. Like, there's no
you
one
can't.
person making these decisions where this is there's a lot of gears in play that creates the final product. A lot of it behind the scenes, a lot of it corporate, a lot of it on the front lines. I mean, it's everybody's kind of got their hand on it, but there's a lot of people that are just innocent parties that are just doing their part to make the movie as best as they can. So, yeah, that's the tough part. Is the best you can do is just voice your opinion, the good, the bad, and hopefully if it's successful enough, they will take the feedback that was given to them on what worked, what didn't work, and apply it to any potential sequels that they make. That's all you can really hope for, and that's what we should expect and hope from them, given any sequels, that they learn from any mistakes that did not go over well with a large portion of the fans that they're vocal about, and make a better movie the next time. So
you guys are gonna go in theaters? You're gonna watch it on HBO? What's the deal?
Is it both? Is it getting released both ways? Okay.
You can see it in IMAX.
Yeah, I haven't even been to a theater here because COVID hit like shortly after I got here, so I don't know. That's a good question. I would love. I mean, kid me is like, go see it in the theater because you gotta see a Mortal Kombat movie in the theater. But my honest feelings over, I was just like, I'll watch it when it comes out, but I'm not that even before the trailer got announced, I wasn't really that excited for this. I would say, and I think maybe that's why I personally received the trailer pretty well, is because after hearing so many people very negative on the script without going into the script myself to know what people are negative about, but I didn't have a whole lot of hopes for this. I didn't really particularly care for Legacy either. I don't even know if I even finished Legacy. I was not really that excited for this or looking forward to it. So when we got what we got, I was like, this actually looks better than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So that's how low my expectations had got.
I think that's the kind of vibe I get out of this Legacy, Ups and downs, some things are great, other things not so much, but at least Raiden is not being confined to a psychiatric institution and being lobotomized, so...
Boy, yeah.
Yeah, Legacy was...
I'll take my victories where I can get them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I saw, a month ago, before the trailer actually came out, obviously, somebody had made it seem like the trailer was out, so I was like, so I'll go on YouTube for the trailer, and it
was just a bunch of fucking Legacy clips.
Yeah, Legacy clips put together.
I was so pissed
with some footage I hadn't recognized, and I was like, I honestly thought that was what we were getting at first, and I was like, it's really odd that they reused Legacy footage, but okay. I was really disappointed, and I didn't have expectations. So I was like, oh, this is horrible. So yes, this was a much better trailer to get than seeing really bad Cyrax CGI. As happy as I was to see Cyrax in the trailer, I was like,
Man.
This is not good. So, anyway, but yeah, no, I'm cautiously... Oh, and I did want to comment. You had mentioned earlier that it took them forever to show us the trailer, and this is what we got. Like, kind of there was some CGI that was questionable with, like, Goro and stuff. Yeah. To be fair, I don't know if that was... Like, even Godzilla vs. King Kong, for some reason, trailer came out 2 months before the movie. Like, it just came out recently, and that movie comes out before Mortal Kombat. So I don't know if it's like an HBO... Like it might be an HBO Max. Like, somebody's passing down from WB or HBO Max or something that apparently 2 months beforehand is when we're getting these trailers for these big movies. So
very strange tack to take. Like, maybe they're understaffed as a whole COVID situation. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I don't necessarily hate it so much because it kind of helps manage hype with, like, the... As we kind of, like... I still hope the next NRS game is only announced, like, 6 months before the game comes out, like MK11 was. That was so much easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was definitely skeptical about what we were going to get purely on how long they waited. Most movies do not wait 2 months before the movie. We're used to, like, a year out getting the first scenes of it or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I had to step out and, like, place an order for food or whatever when you guys were talking about Sub-Zero's costume, but I know a lot of people weren't digging it so much. Definitely needs more blue would be nice, but I think the fact that it's Bi-Han and we know he eventually becomes new, I'm wondering if maybe that plays into it a little bit. They're just kind of already going a little bit heavy on the black, though that might take away from the difference between them, like the change. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff. Well, I don't know about a lot, but there's some speculation out there I've seen that says, what if all this is like prequel setup? Like why Kano doesn't have his face plates, things like that.
Yeah,
and it would make a certain degree of sense, I guess.
And he's on the good side. I use that in quotation marks. Was that the case in MK1? Didn't he fight for?
No, in MK1 he was complete.
He was already.
He was always evil.
So then I wonder if that plays into it, because wasn't part of his backstory that he betrayed Sonya at some point, or is that just a later game thing?
Okay, going back. Original timeline. Suhao was the mole character, and Kano was always, the head of the Black Dragon, and Sonya was always out to get him because he killed her partner or fiance or her dog or whatever.
Okay.
New timeline. Kano is rewritten as taking Suhao's part as like the mole in the Special Forces organization. So here, I don't know. It is weird to see them on the same side.
Which I'm sure will change by the end of the movie. I would expect fully that he betrays them. But
I'd be surprised if that doesn't change.
It's so cool that Kano's a good guy now. It's such a great change from the OG series. I'm like, you should be glad I don't have your address. Just stop.
Well, I mean, it's also like, boy, are you setting yourself up? Dude, there's no way I can buy that he doesn't flip before the end of the movie.
Yeah, I totally expect that. But
I buy good guy Kano as much as I buy Dr. Baraka MD.
It could lead into your
code name.
Talk about comparisons of taking your blessings when you can get
yeah.
I could see that your potential theory of it being more of like a prequel setup film that's kind of like takes place technically, like it's kind of a weird position to be in of taking place before MK1, and that would explain why Kano is with them to kind of set up that backstory. That may play into it. Yeah, you might be onto something there. That'd be interesting.
It's possible. I wouldn't mind that being the case.
Could also explain why Johnny's not there, and maybe that's to set him up for coming into the second one. At least then I would hope they wouldn't rehash the whole what is this tournament bullshit going on. This is all like make believe random stuff. Like this isn't real. Like they kind of played up before. That would be kind of lame to just redo the same thing if they do that with Cole this time. But yeah, no. Just to reiterate for anyone that didn't see my Twitter post, kind of my highlights and lowlights and things that I'm just kind of indifferent on. I really like what they're doing with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I think they look really awesome in the trailer. Their scenes are, in my opinion, the best ones that we saw in the trailer. They just look really cool. Like Django said, I love when he's throwing the ice down from the sky.
Yeah, that shit looks so tight.
Love when he creates the ice wall. I love the scene of Liu Kang walking with the sun in the background. That's just classic MK stuff. Like, to me, it just brings me back to those backgrounds and the bios and the stuff like that from the original game, where you had the backgrounds behind the characters on the select screen, and when they're given their bio and ending and stuff, and you have the sun behind Liu Kang. Like, that just screams like that to me.
The
like,
sun behind Liu Kang is a highlight of the trailer for me.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I do like seeing, Melina, like the locales look really good, and seeing Melina, like the behind shot from her when she's walking, like that's a great shot.
I really like this shot right here. For some reason, like, I wouldn't have thought about it, and this is not like any kind of classic Mortal Kombat location or anything like that, but there's something really cool that I like about it. This feels really MK to me. I think what it is just...
Is it all the ice?
The
ice is cool.
The ice is cool. It's this obviously modern setting with these two obviously mythic characters meeting there doing something, and that clash between the two of these people, that these figures that don't fit with the surroundings that they're in, but they look incredibly like comfortable here. Like, this is not the first time they've done this. This is something that isn't super unusual to these two. It's that kind of thing is really interesting to me. And for some reason, that feels really Mortal Kombat to me. I like this shot for that reason. They did a cool thing here.
It feels like it tells the story of two people who have danced.
Yeah, it does.
Before.
I mean, from a story perspective, yes, but also, like, it also looks like Mortal Kombat just the way it's set up. That looks like a stage in Mortal Kombat. Like,
it does, yeah, you're right.
On a 2D kind of walking plane where it's like, hey, they're about ready to throw down. Like,
right, very
totally,
much.
with the wide screen and everything, like, panned out like that.
And just the thought that you could do that in a billion different ways, and you could, of Raiden and Shang Tsung meeting somewhere to talk shit or hash something out or whatever, like I'm sure they've done several times, because this is the 9th or 10th tournament now. They've done this in different eras and whatnot, because these tournaments they're long. There's lots of generations of them. We see fucking the great Kung Lao there in the past too.
We actually, okay, how do we feel about Shang? Because we haven't talked about Shang.
We haven't talked about Shang yet. That's true. It looks like they're... Yeah, you could go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, like, I like the way he looks, like the actor looks. I think, obviously, they're kind of capturing that same, vibe with Shang that we've seen. But, like, I mean, the chest armor, the shoulder armor does look a little strange, as has been said in, like, the Discord and stuff, looking kind of like Freddy's weird soul chest and weird stuff. I get that totally. I get that vibe from it. I don't think he looks bad. I don't think he looks great. He's just kind of in my middle category where I need to see more. I mean, is he going to wear that the whole movie? What's like? I like his narration. He's the one doing a lot of the narrating in the film, right? Or in this trailer, right?
Presumably.
He's the one that says, "No matter how many of my people you put in the ground."
Yeah.
Then I love his voice. I think his voice sounds awesome. I think he looks good right there. The wardrobe, I can take or leave. That's kind of where I'm up in the air on. Everything else I like.
I would make one major adjustment. Facial hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was weird in '95 when Kari Tagawa didn't have it, but we all got used to it. I don't know why, for the life of me, you do not give him the goatee. It's such a piece of Shang. That aside, I'm on the same boat. Take or leave the armor.
Yeah,
it doesn't
strike me as... Yeah, voice for sure. It doesn't strike me as, like, unfitting of him. It just... I mean, I feel like a lot of his other outfits in the games themselves would have been nice to, like, draw from. Like, the robes and stuff like that would have been nice for sure to get. So this looks a little strange, but maybe in part of the movie he takes off the chest piece and stuff, and he goes down to just more of like a jacket and robe or something like that, more of a classic attire. I love the headpiece, little hairpiece there.
Yeah, cool. It looks like they're going for like a Mongolian type thing with him over.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Like the traditional like Chinese aristocrats sorcerer guy. He looks more like a Mongolian warrior or some stuff, or something like that in this movie.
Sure. I can actually say that he does look like he could be thousands of years old, and this is just the stuff he wears.
Yeah.
I could agree with that for sure. I get that vibe. It kind of, it gives me that Big Trouble in Little China vibe where it's like this dude. I think we're gonna see, like, it would be nice to see him at some point as super old. I think this actor would look really good, super old.
Yeah.
Like with the gray hair and all that. Like maybe that's when you bring in the facial hair and everything. I would love to see that.
We could really use Old Man Shang in some adaptation. It's overdue. Yeah.
Sub is tight in this trailer. Have I said that yet?
Yes, you have.
He's kind of tight. You know what? I don't mind listening to Sonya in this trailer either. That's a first. Well, that's a first for me.
He set a very low bar.
We're doing good for Sonya nowadays.
You know,
and by doing good, I mean yes, we're literally not Ronda Rousey.
It was obvious that she was pretty rough to begin with, but then when they brought in the Bridget Wilson, the voice from the movie, it's like, oh,
thank God.
Now this is really just pointing out how bad that really was.
Yeah,
I can't comment like much on Sonya here. I don't get much more than a second or two of her, but she seems okay. She's got the looks. She's got the moves
for sure. Yeah,
got some sonic rings, and that's really cool to see.
I like that she's interested in something that's not just where the fuck is Kano? Yeah,
Kill Kano. Yeah, that's true. We're gonna have at least what feels like a majority of the movie that will not be Kill Kano. Strangely, it'll be like, "Hey, Kano, what's up, buddy?" But
it will.
About that.
Or at least it's not Kill Kano.
Not right away, anyway.
Not right away. That's probably gonna change. By the end of the movie, she'll probably be Kill Kano.
So diabolical on screen that gives us, the viewer, and anybody that's not like familiar with Mortal Kombat, more of a reason to want to see this guy get it. Like,
yeah, dude, he's gonna kill Cole.
That is one thing in like the original movie. It's like we know she doesn't like Kano. We know he killed her partner or whatever, but like being able to see it visually, like get invested in this character. Obviously, we know what's coming. We know he's gonna be a piece of shit, and we're expecting that. But from like a casual viewer that may not know what's going on, to see him potentially be one of the good guys, and I still think he's going to be a little piece of shit throughout the whole movie, but seeing him on the good side, and then maybe seeing him kill like a character that we love off or something to really enrage us as the viewer might get us even more invested in that rivalry.
Yeah,
I take a bet of who that character's going to be.
Who's that one?
I mean, the most expendable, probably, which we all know who that is.
I think we're all thinking it. I know we're all thinking it, but we have to say.
I'm hoping it's Cole Young. I'm hoping it's not Kung Lao. Just seeing the eye laser go to Kung Lao has me a little worried, and just how he's always getting fucked over at the game. But yes, I'd be all for him turning on Cole Young. That's fine.
Yeah. Cole Young seems.
I think Cole's pretty safe, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see why.
Yeah.
Just watch the trailer really carefully for a second.
Yeah. Sure. But yeah, no, this looks good. It looks good.
It's like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, I think.
Hopeful. I will give it my time. I may give it my money if theaters are back open near me by that time.
That is a pet peeve I want to address now that you mentioned that you will give it your money. Like, anybody, and I've seen people on Twitter, on Discord, whatever, saying this, but it's like, oh, I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to pay for it. And it's like, come on. Like, if you're intrigued enough to watch it, you should be paying for it. Like, it's just so unfair to me to be like, this looks like absolute dog shit. I'm not going to pay for this, but I'm going to watch it. Like, I get you not wanting to give them your money if you genuinely think it's going to be bad. but then you shouldn't be watching it. Like, that's my perspective. Is like, if you think it looks so bad that you're not willing to pay for it, then you shouldn't be watching it to begin with. Like, you shouldn't be able to just get it for free because you don't think it's going to be good. Like, I don't
Just
think
wait,
it's right.
just wait 6 months till it's on Netflix or some shit. I don't know.
Sure. Or get HBO Max, and it's $10 or whatever the hell it is, $10 or $15, and you can watch all the other movies that are on there. Like, at least then you're not directly giving it to this movie. You're giving it to your service that you can get for a month.
No, you're giving it to the Snyder Cut.
I just
you can do it yourself if you hate it that much.
I just take issue with that. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't like what you're seeing to the point where you don't want to pay for it, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. You're entitled to that opinion. But it's like you want your cake, or you want to eat your cake and have it too. Like, you want to be able to watch it, to shit on it, and just to confirm that you do not like what you're seeing, which is fine. But you want it for free, and that's just not. If they've intrigued you enough to at least want to see what they're doing, whether it's for good or bad, then you should be paying for it. That's just my thing. I mean, that's not really an anti-torrenting thing or anything like that. It's just more of a, I don't know. I just think that's, like I said, you're wanting both sides of it.
It's definitely gotten me interested enough where I'll check it out. It'll probably be the HBO Max route is probably the way that I'll go.
It's also a self-fulfilling prophecy when you're like, this movie's gonna tank, it's gonna do so shitty, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna pay for it. Like, you can't.
I will give it a shot. I will give it a shot. I was in the boat before. I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking bother. Call me when the watch party's happening. But now I've seen enough to go, okay, they're paying attention. There are some things that they're doing really well. There's some nice deep cuts there. I don't think it's going to be everything I want it to be, but I'm willing to take it on its own terms. Can't be MK95 because MK95 is just so much, so give us what you can. And that's fine.
Yeah. It is funny how that doesn't it look weird?
It's ogre. It's not Shao Kahn. It's fucking ogre.
I think the Shao Kahn, man, that Kung Lao kick is really fucking sick as well.
A Kung Lao kick.
That Kung Lao should just being Kung Lao as fuck.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a highlight.
The Shao Kahn statue is something that kind of sticks out to me. It doesn't look bad, but it also just kind of reminds me, like, oh, that's from the video game. Which shouldn't be a bad thing. It's weird to think that, because it doesn't make sense logically. Because, all of this is from a video game.
It's the head tails, man. I can't get over those head tails.
Yeah, it's the bunny thing from and I don't know why they chose that one.
It is. I don't know. It's distracting. I don't know. It's weird. It's fine. It'll be.
Mean, if you're like a huge fan of modern Shao Kahn and you're just a huge fan of MK11 and that's your Shao Kahn, this is probably amazing to you, which I get it. A lot of us, our Shao Kahn is still that classic MK3 one, or MK2.
God, yes, it is.
Sorry. It's weird. Like, I do like Mortal Kombat 11 Shao Kahn visually, not any other way, but I don't like seeing it here for some reason. This looks strange. This is I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be any surprise that a lot of what they're trying to capture is more of a modern Mortal Kombat, not trying to appease the classic crowd as much as the classic crowd already got their MK movie, at least with 95. I don't think that's going to change with this, no matter what, unless they really, really catered to that crowd. But just, looking at the character design.
Yeah, like Goro is a good example. Yeah.
Yeah. Goro, a lot of the moments and stuff like that. Even that's like Sub-Zero's one of his intros, isn't it?
That's from MKX.
You know what? Yeah. It does look based like on that Shao Kahn statue and some of the other places where you see some fights going on, like Jax versus Reiko. It does seem like we might transition into Outworld for a little while, wherever it is. It does seem to be, all dark and dingy and messed up. And hey, I look forward to seeing that.
Some were speculating that's where Melina's walking. Like when we see Melina and everything's just like a barren wasteland and kind of like just blacked out hills and stuff. I think that's what.
There it is.
I think people are thinking that's like Outworld during the day. So
I wouldn't hate that. Sky is just a little bit purple.
It's a little purple. Definitely looks like wasteland barren bullshit though. There could be worse wastelands, worst Outworlds. Way worse Outworlds than that.
There's some promising stuff here, and hopefully this isn't it. Like, hopefully this isn't one of those trailers that gives you the coolest and whatnot in the trailer itself. I'm hoping for a lot of cool shit and a lot of cool stuff that's gonna make us get giddy or excited or just really kind of.
I'm very getting excited. This dude is fucking staring at him as he's gonna break his arms off. It's so sick. Beyond's such an asshole.
I love the look on his face.
Yeah.
The look on his face when the bullets are coming towards him. No, I don't
just like
care.
it's like, this is cute. It's also obviously a fun nod to the '95 movie, because we had that bit there too. But this time it has cooler special effects. Sub-Zero has to walk up and be like, "Fuck your guns." Care. Yeah, fuck your guns, dude. It's so cute. Get out of here.
No emotion in his eyes at all. He's dead inside. I love it.
He does. Yeah, he looks fucking like dead cold motherfucker. Which again will be interesting if whenever there's another movie at any point in the future, and there's a Kuai Liang in there. Like, how the fuck? This must be really shitty to be this guy's brother. Jesus Christ, growing up with this guy. Yeah. Is that everything we have to say about this movie?
I think I've gotten pretty much everything out that I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as what we can see in this trailer and just general.
Yeah, the trailer, not the movie. Yeah.
Going towards the future of our kind of hopes and expectations, I guess, at this point. Yeah, I think it covered mine pretty much.
Yeah.
I put on Twitter that I'm predicting, just based on what I see here, I'm giving it like a 6.5 out of 10. Would love for it to be more. It'd be unfortunate if it went less than that, but that's just kind of where I feel like just getting my vibe on what we're seeing here. And that's where my expectations are at, I should say. About 6.5.
Yeah. Hopefully, by the end of this trailer, I got a more... It started feeling super serious at the beginning of this trailer. By the end of it, I had enough of a vibe of fun from it that I hope that that's the case. I hope there's still some fun watching the movie. Because I think that's one of the best qualities of the '95 movie is it's fun as fuck. The movie is just fun.
That's what I want more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully this movie doesn't get rid of all of that, and it's not just this.
Like Kano's gonna be like the comic relief to a point where he's doing all the one-liners that Johnny would do in the original. But
it could be. I hope that's not the case, but yeah,
that works.
We'll
you know about the character. It can be hit or miss. I could easily see that not turning out so hot.
I don't know if this movie's going to show me everything that I want to see, or maybe it'll show me some things I need to see. If that makes any sense. We'll see.
Did we do it? I think we've done it.
I like that.
Thank you guys for joining me, Shad and Simon.
Give it a shot before you shit all over it. Peace out.
We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.